Welcome back, this is Madan. In this video, we are gonna extend our previous search feature and add the autocomplete feature so that when the user types, then we are going to give some kind of feedback to the user. So here we are in our project that we created in earlier session, and in this demo I'm going to use autocomplete library to add autocomplete feature in our search. And let's head over to the Google and find out the library that we want to use. So I'm gonna use the easy autocomplete library. Let's click on this link, and this is the easy autocomplete library. Let's click on example, and here you can see a different example. For instance, let's try to find out, and when the user types in our search box with the name of the pet, then we want to give the user a kind of feedback same like this, and many examples are given here. You can play with them, each of them, and we are in this demo we are going to use the example of autocomplete JS, which is Ajax post. So if we click on show example code, then it will show us the example code. And what this Ajax post does is when the user types something on the input box, then it will go out to the server. It will send Ajax request to the server, and when the server sends the response in the JSON format, it will use that response and display in the autocomplete list. So I'm gonna copy this code from here right now. Let's copy this, and let's head over to the slide and see what we need to do to implement autocomplete feature in our search in MVC project. So let's head over back to the slide and let's see. So in the view, we already have the form that takes a search input from the user, and we submit that to the controller. And now we are gonna add a JavaScript to our view to perform autocomplete search. And the code for the JavaScript is here given here in this slide, and this is also available at this link which we just saw before. This is basically this code here, so you can copy this from here and bring that to your project as well. Once we add the required script in our view that contains the search input box, then the next step is we need to install autocomplete library. And to install the autocomplete library, we can use npm install, and once we install, we need to include the required file to our layout.cshtml file. Once we install autocomplete library, we need to go to our controller, and we need to add one action there which returns the JSON response. When the user types something here on the source box, then this input is sent back to the controller action, sent back to the action of this controller, this action, and this action will go out to the database and get the result, filter the result based on the input supplied here, and that will be displayed in the autocomplete list. So once we implement this feature in the controller, then we need to make a small change in our site.css in order for the easy autocomplete to work properly. So let's head back to our project and implement autocomplete feature. So at first we are gonna install the autocomplete. So let's go to the autocomplete and let's click on download link, and here you can find the npm install command. Copy this and open the terminal. From here, view and integrated terminal, and from here let's paste it and let's give it a save switch so that when this install the easy autocomplete, it will also appear in our package.json file with this save switch. Let's hit enter. So let's click on package.json and it has included easy autocomplete successfully in our project. So the easy autocomplete has been downloaded to node modules directory. Let's refresh this and let's go to the node modules directory. So here is the easy autocomplete. We need to include this into our layout file. So let's head over to our layout file, layout.cshtml, and let's include the CSS required for easy autocomplete. I'm gonna copy this link here and paste this link here again. So our easy complete is inside the vendor easy autocomplete, and it's inside the dist folder, easy autocomplete.css. Let's save this and let's include this link here as well, and let's head back. Let's move down to the body section and include the required JavaScript file. So I'm gonna copy this one from here, this link, and let's paste it here. And we need to make sure that we include easy autocomplete JavaScript below jQuery, because that's the jQuery plugin. So it's inside the vendor easy autocomplete into com easy autocomplete folder inside the dist, and let's remove this for now, and it is inside the dist. It's jQuery dot easy autocomplete dot js, and let's copy this and let's put it here as well. Let's save this. So we have included the required easy autocomplete files in our layout.cshtml file so that we can use those library in any of our view. So the next step is let's head over to the view, and what we're gonna do is we're going to add JavaScript at the bottom of our index view. So let's do section scripts. If you wanna include JavaScript in your page, then you can do section scripts here. Let's give it a script tag, script, and let's head over back to the autocomplete example, and let's grab the example of Ajax post. I'm gonna grab this all, copy this and paste it here. Let's permit this there. Alright, so this URL function here, what it does is it goes out to the server and make Ajax request. So we need to proper it to our controller action method, and this example Ajax post, this is the ID of the input search box. So our input search box has an ID of search, so let's replace this with the search, and this is the ID of our input search to which we want to show the autocomplete. We want to attach the autocomplete list, search.autocomplete, and this request delay is it sends Ajax request to the server at every 400 millisecond, and let's rename this to search. Of course you can give it any name, search, and let's point it to our controller action. So slash page slash autocomplete result. Let's give it a name of autocomplete result, and this is the name of the method that we need to create in our page controller. So let's copy this and head over to our page controller, and let's add a new method with that name, public I action result. Paste the name here, and it's gonna take the parameter of sorts, and we need to make sure this name sorts here should match with this variable name here and here. So once we do that, we need to return the JSON result back to the caller of this method. So return JSON, we are going to page repository, and we are going to use our existing method source page that we created earlier, and that takes a parameter source input. So when the AJAX request is made to this link, to this URL in the server, then this method in the server will return the JSON response. It goes out to the page database and returns the result based on this search criteria, and sends the response back to the caller, back to this caller in the JSON format. So once we do that, the final step is, so we have make our view and included the JavaScript file, we have included the autocomplete library in layout file, and we have implemented the controller method. Now we need to make small changes in our CSS file in order for the autocomplete to render the autocomplete view properly. So let's copy this from here and head back to our project, and let's go to the site, the CSS, and I'm gonna paste it here. Let's save this. And at this point of time we should be able to see our autocomplete search in action. So let's head over to the browser and let's try this. So when I do press C, the C character is sent out to the server, and it will get back the response, the name of the pairs that starts with C from the database, and it gets back the response in JSON format, and finally that response is attached back to our search in the form of autocomplete. So if we do CAT, then we can click and search here. If you want to find rabbit, so this is the autocomplete that we get back from the server. And we can also customize this autocomplete to make it more user friendly. For instance, let's go back here and let's click on this demo example, and let's copy this template. I'm gonna copy this template here, copy this template, and I'm gonna copy the template and the list option, and let's paste those two options here. So this is a type of description, and any description you want to put here. Let's say we want to put the color in the description of the autocomplete, color of our page, then we give it a color, and let's leave it true for now, and let's head over to the server and let's refresh and let's type cat. See, now our description has been added at the end of each options in our autocomplete. So cat which has a black gray color, cat 1 gray, cat 2 black. If you click on this and hit search, then you will get that. Let's press R. You will get the name of the pet with the color value appended to them. So click on that and click on search, you will get your pet. So our search feature here also works with the also filters the pet based on the age and the color. So if we type 1 and hit enter, then it will get back all the pairs whose age is 1. If we do white and then hit enter, it will give the pet with the color white, but when you do 1 or white, then we didn't see autocomplete. But when we give the name of the pet, then we can see the autocomplete. So we can fix this. If we go here and see, then in the list option it is given enabled equal to true. Sorry, we need to add the another option here. Let's click on this. List match, yeah, that's right. So if we wanna display the autocomplete when the user type the age of the pet or the color of the pet like this, then what we can do is we can give a false value to this enable option. So let's give it a false and let's try it. Refresh and let's find out all the pairs and let's try. Let's input the name of the cat. It has given us the autocomplete. Let's give it an age of 1 and here we go, we see the pairs whose age is 1. Also let's give it a color, then we see the pet with the color white. So in this way you can complete the easy autocomplete. There are so many options available here. Of course you can always consult to the documentation. So in brief, we need to provide autocomplete the options. So the options includes the URL. This URL is the URL of the server, which will return the data that we want to look for in the JSON format. And the another option is get value. This get value is whatever you want to display in your autocomplete. For instance, we have given your name if you want to display, and when we try to search, then it gives us the name. But if you want to display the color there, then you can do color and save, refresh and try it. So the color appears at first instead of the name. So in this way you can customize as you like. So let's change it back to the name, and this template is the HTML template that gets attached to this when we type something here. This is the template, and there are different options for the template available in Autocomplete Library. You can consult the documentation. This list here, this specifies the number of the rows or the number of the pairs you want to display. For instance, here we can set the limit to 10 pairs or 5 pairs or whatever we want, and we can specify other options such as match, and we can also specify the sort option so that the search list will be sorted before displaying. So in order to use the sort option, we can use sort. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. So if we add this option and sort enable to true, then our result will get sorted before displaying. So let's refresh this, and let's type in cat, and the results are sorted here. So let's do rabbit r, then these two, rabbit and rat, are sorted in alphabetical order. And this ajax settings is for making the ajax request. So the method is the post. We are gonna send this data when we type something. We're gonna send this through the post request, and this data type JSON is the data that we are expecting back from the server. So our server method is sending the result in the JSON format. So we want to write JSON type to data type to JSON, and this prepare post data will prepare the data before performing the ajax, before sending the ajax request to the server. So we need to send the value of the source input to the server with the ajax request, along with the ajax request. So it takes the value and stores that value into the data source property of the data, and then that property will be sent along with this request to the server in the form of post request. So in this way you can implement autocomplete in your project and customize this as per your requirement. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.